This is a quick update. I haven't done many videos recently, and what I have planned is actually a series of videos that will be coming up. I do not know if I'll get to them this month as much as I'd like to, but as to what's been going on, I would say in the last 3 months, personally, I've had traction or movement on some important things in different areas of business and life that I haven't had in probably a couple of years at this level. And so it's really exciting. And honestly, the way it's happening is through the kind of principles that I've been speaking about in my videos. And it might seem really strange because I actually talk about, the places where I have to slow down and shift and reframe something or perceive it differently. But I talk about those because those kind of small shifts or pivots in the right place can really open us up to the kind of result and momentum that we're desiring, right? Because if you're already at a certain level, you've got good ideas, you've implemented them before, you've had success before, it's not, you already know how to do it. But when we're going at new levels, those old strategies often don't work, and the rare time they do, they don't feel as satisfying because they're not really present moment. They're like regurgitating an old idea and then print, like save and then copy and print, save, copy, print, right? And there may be a time for that, but most often when you're looking for actual real change, you're going to have to go way deeper than that. And there has to be a change, right? There's going to be something that's felt, seen, heard, maybe, it's a sensory experience. It's not just something that you can put out superficially by any means, right? And so I know for myself it was happening. A lot of it was in a way that seems like underground, right? Like it's not visible. I'm not really sharing it publicly. I'm not going into any details. But there's a lot happening because I'm working on it behind the scenes. And of course, most big projects, most big up levels happen behind the scenes. And then by the time that you actually start seeing them as a consumer, as a client, as part of the public or collective, there's a lot that has already happened for that to show up in front of you. And so, a few months ago, I think I began, I started talking about higher and bigger visions, and then you started using the word ecosystem. And, that inspired me to look at my ecosystem, what was around me, to really support the kind of shifts that I'd like to see now, that I feel I'm ready for. And so, I had to reorganize things. I had to go deep and research certain things and then apply them and implement them. And while that is always an ongoing process, there are times when we, if we align those experiences with the bigger vision, then everything starts working cohesively, and that's where the momentum happens. That's why suddenly it's like, wow, like, where that places that I felt stuck for quite a while suddenly aren't there anymore. And now I have like this list of things that I know that I can do that are ready to be done. And it's not even about completing the list. That's the thing. It's not about completing it. It's actually about that showing you what is there, what is possible. And it's like your brain is thinking in new ways that's created this particular list. And so you begin embodying a new self, a new personhood, a new identity, because you're engaging with what needs to be done. You're putting it down, then you're acting on it, and then you're reflecting on it, and then you're taking the times to pause and go, am I still on track, or am I now maybe responding to other things that I see out there or other people I'm listening to, instead of coming back and going, okay, what is actually real? Where am I alive in this moment? Where am I engaged and activated? And so putting that into practice now, I do it all the time with people. And it was some years ago that it kind of dawned on me that my clients were making certain leaps that at that time I wasn't. And only because I wasn't applying those things to myself and in my world. I was guiding people into doing them, but I wasn't focused. I was so focused on others, I guess. I was so focused on serving others and working with others that I, on some level, kind of just thought, oh, well, of course it'll work, it'll happen for me as I'm doing this. And in truth, I needed to bring the energy back to myself and really begin to focus and deepen my connection with my bigger vision, and actually calling in and bringing in the results that I needed to really progress in the way I wanted. And honestly, I mean, it might sound like an obvious thing to say, but it was like super exciting to be able to apply that to myself and then see the results happen in 3D, in material life, in regular life. And that has allowed me to be at this place where I can now, that bigger vision is reforming and or developing, I should say, developing into something. And I know the different places and ways that I can now begin to show up and the way I can deliver it. And with the tools that I've been using, it really allows me to show up as authentically as is important to me, because that's what keeps it real. Otherwise, really, it's just not really interesting to me to just kind of do the copy and paste, or to follow others and just say, oh, they made it this way, so let me just create my own version. But instead, actually do the deep work, do the real questioning, and the discovering of what's wanting to come through me, right? Like, and this is the soul perspective. It's not just to me about the practical. That's not enough. So to really connect the idea of soul with, who am I, and what is a unique way that I bring things through myself, the unique way that I guide others that I don't see available out there, the specific ways in which I will work with somebody, or in this case, as I said, like even work with myself, because I used to joke, I wish I could, clone myself and coach myself. And in a way, I suppose I began doing that without the cloning part, and been able to kind of step outside myself and go, okay, wait a second, what's important for me, right? What are the results that I require in order to move to these other levels? And by doing that kind of work, I am very pleased that I've been able to see the kind of progress that I wanted. And I can say that within about, I don't know whether it was 4 weeks or maybe 6 at the most, there were 3 things that I moved on that previously would have taken me a long time, because I would have put them at the bottom of my list instead of at the top. And strangely, in a way, unexpectedly, they were things that I actually had the capacity to do like instantly. I didn't have to wait. There was all the reasons that I'd put in front of myself, or the other things that were on the list that felt like I had to do them first before I could get these. That wasn't real. That wasn't true. That was something I allowed myself to think and believe. And so having moved on those has put me in a different place today, speaking to you, than I was just a few months ago. And so in this video, I'm sharing this process as a way for you to reflect and go, okay, where am I holding back on things that are important, that would really be, they could be sometimes the tiniest of things, but if you don't do that, you can't get the next piece, right? Sometimes they're administrative, sometimes they're boring, sometimes they're things that we actually have to really, sit down and do work on. But it's only by doing that that we get to the next level, right? Or the next journey, the next phase, the next chapter. And so to honor yourself and to honor your soul's desires to the point that you actually start doing these, and it doesn't feel like I have to do this. It actually starts to be, I am doing this. I'm choosing this because I know how important this is in the bigger picture, and that bigger picture is something that I drew, that I created, or that came through me, and I am going to honor it, and I'm going to follow through. So yeah, reflect on that for yourself. See if there is something in your ecosystem that you're like, you know what, this is really important. Sometimes it's health, sometimes it's finances, sometimes it's relationships that we need to do something, take some action on, so that the fuller expression of ourselves can really come through in the ways that we are meant, that we're here for, that we created ourselves here for, right? And if you'd like guidance in that and you get stuck at any point on like, what does that mean? How do I actually embody and integrate the kind of things that I say into your journey? Then click on the link in the description box. And right now, while I'm posting this video, I have options to work just in one or a few sessions with me. I don't know how long it'll keep that. Some parts of me, I like to always keep some of that open for new people or people who are just beginning their journey or in their journey and need to make a new change that they haven't been able to. But generally, I work deeper and longer with people, and those are in the 5 figures. So I just want to share that I enjoy like introducing these concepts so people can really take them in and start applying them, and so I like doing that for people that might be new to this kind of work or new to me and the way I can guide you. So please access that and like, subscribe if this interests you. Watch some of my other videos, and yeah, share in the comments any changes you've made, especially if you've already been watching me, maybe any changes that have resulted that you want to share or ask questions, and I'll happily do my best to answer them. So keep going, keep inspired, no matter if you have hiccups and delays and things are seeming like problems. It's just part of the journey at times, right? You can do it, you will do it. Keep true to the vision, keep connecting with that deeper soul level. The more authentic and true it is, the easier it will come out. The more planned it is, the more strategic it is from only a mental angle, the more it can feel laborious or exhausting, or just like so much that you can't handle. It can become overwhelming. So there are ways to simplify and keep that energy flowing through instead of getting stuck. So yeah, that's what I have to share for today, and I look forward to when I'm ready to kind of have a more of a series. And there's a certain kind of videos that I'd like to provide that are, in my mind, kind of substantial in this journey, and so I just would like to have them versus just only a stream of consciousness, which I've been doing mostly. Yeah, so I'll let you know when I'm ready to do that, and have a fabulous week, and I'll see you next time.